Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So it seems that it's going to be us, which is okay. And I saw the Discord that you guys met yesterday. How did it go? Was it yesterday or?
Yesterday, yes. It was really
Uh,
good, actually, I think.
so how
I had
many
fun.
people were there? 3 people? 4 people?
Alex, Ayan,
It
Murad,
was
Malek,
yeah. One,
and me.
two,
We were six,
Five
right?
people.
four,
Ah,
five, six,
Five,
seven.
six.
All of us, it was seven.
Seven?
So,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, fun. Fun.
Yeah, Fong
Ah,
also was there.
okay. Really nice, really nice. So you worked in 103 or which module did you work?
Everyone was working on their actual thing, and we were just jumping and
Ah, okay,
And
okay,
when we
okay.
get stuck with something, so Enrique was there and the Fong,
Mm,
because they already on the next module, and
mm,
did
mm.
really explain to us things and stuff. So and it did work really well.
Really nice, really nice. So happy to see that you guys actually collaborated.
But what
So
was
that's
nice
like
that we was together, so it feels like a small family, you know. It was
ah
really nice. It was fun. That was the most important, beside all the help and thing.
I guess it would just continue getting better since now it's the beginning and it went well, and hopefully will be a motivation to continue doing it
Yeah.
maybe once a week. I think someone said to do it at least once per week. So really
Yes.
nice. So maybe that will be a good segue into today's chapter. So people and mobbing. Did you see any relationships between what happened, like your experience yesterday and the chapter, or yeah, who would like to start?
yes, a bit. Especially
Mm,
with the personality traits and stuff.
mm.
There's
And
you can put people in kind of those kind of buckets on those things on those spectrums, and it's kind of like that usually.
mm, mm,
It's always people tend to do something, other people tend to do other thing, and it's the chapter was about the importance of defining, not defining, but realizing which who is who, and then to basically to extract the best of those people. It's like, for example,
mm,
what to say, I'm um I'm about nowhere on the book, so you have
mm.
to keep me in check because if you let me go, I will say, but no, but no, but no, but no, but no, but no.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, okay.
So yeah, it's like that.
Okay. And for you, Murad, how did you see the relationship between the chapter and your experience from yesterday?
Okay, I did go see every individual on the group yesterday. So I did will share some emotion, some intermediate emotion. I think I'll try like to make it easy for everyone by experience, because as Enrique says, so maybe he's a step for us, but it still does
Mm,
make everyone like scared. Oh no, how is this going? So, but it's still like okay, we did try like to work on our patients issues and try like to make them how's mild for everyone and to make it
mm,
easy and try like okay to take it just step by step, and this is gonna work, especially when we solve the problem. Maybe it can be a little bit, but we can like help each other to like solve it, and that's make us like to feel comfortable to each other.
with each other. Correct,
Yeah, with
correct.
each other.
How about you, Andre? How has it been? Have you seen a relationship between the information from the chapter and your experience working with your colleagues in your group? Uh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, not really, because I don't met too much with the group, sometimes with the
Mm,
Boga,
mm,
but we discuss a little points, specific points
mm.
for the programming.
Okay, okay. So I would agree then, continuing on the line that you guys have said, that I do believe that the success of collaboration and success of the mob uh, has a or depends a lot on the aspect of uh, people and getting to understand each other. Definitely, when you meet in or when you start working in teams, you're gonna have. It is natural that people are gonna have different personalities, and that could be, if not managed appropriately, demotivating for some people. I would say what Enrique said, one of the things that could be quite demotivating is having this no but people, that every time you suggest an idea or every time you suggest something, someone goes ahead and says no, but blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter what comes after. So it's, as they express in the book, it's usually a habit that we don't realize that we have, and we need to combat against it. But yes, understanding people. And I really like the beginning of the chapter because it really provides in 5 different bullet points the general feeling. Like I could definitely relate with all of them from my experience working with mob. So for example, I like the third one. Third one says some may be too stuck on their own ways to be open to other ideas. It's very difficult working with people who are, as we say in Spanish, squared, and they don't want to change, or they don't want to accept that there are other ways of doing things. And that can be very challenging because how do you change, or how do you move forward where there's not someone always saying, no, I don't feel that's the correct way. It can be very challenging. And I do believe that towards I don't remember which page, but this thing of there's this personality that always, wait 1 second, because they put a name.
On the types of personality?
No, the thing of, 1 second. Where was this? He explained about group thinking, avoiding group thinking. That he says, like, if everyone starts to agree all the time and no one actually becomes the one who challenges ideas, then that goes against the purpose of the mob. Exactly, to have different ideas, explore different opinions. But I do believe that when you have this type of personalities that are stuck in their own ways and they have no intention of, let's say, changing, that naturally not forces, but creates this group thinking. Because then you say, okay, I'm not gonna open my mouth here because just have to listen to this guy just say no to everything. I'm just gonna whatever, it doesn't really matter. So you see what I mean. It is important to realize that either there are other alternatives to a given solution, and that your alternative might not be the only good one. You see, so that is always important to keep in mind. And I do feel that ego plays a big role there. There's people who just don't want to leave the ego aside and they want to always have it right. And that can be a bit of a problem. Has anyone experienced that in any, not necessarily in this class, but in prior experiences working with other people? No?
Yeah.
You have.
Sometimes I've been that one as well, depending on the situation. Yeah.
I do want to mention, okay, so there's a difference. So I do believe that as they express it in here, in that same paragraph, page 40, about group thinking, as they say in bullet point number 3, assigning at least one individual in the mob to be the devil's advocate. I do believe that just because someone expresses idea A, it's not that we just have to accept it. It is okay to challenge, it is okay to explore, but there's a point in which we need to move forward, and just getting stuck just because you don't want to change, that's not good. I mean,
it's actually faster to try the solution and see it happening than actually arguing about the solution.
For example, or sometimes you realize that people don't change their mind, not because their idea is necessarily better, but just because they want it to be their idea. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of ego.
That's
so
ego.
when it crosses that line, then it just becomes unproductive. So there's nothing wrong with this back and forth friction, but there has to be a point for it, not just because I like it. Andre, go ahead, please.
Yes, I have experience. The most difficult is when you work in the team and different age. I can tell you my experience a few years ago when I worked in Forestia, one company in the improvements department. We tried to implement the system pool system to help the people work in logistic area. So trying to teach the people work in the factory for, say, I working here for 20 years and you are new and you're trying to implement new things is very hard. At the same time, I work in the production planner and they have the system SAP, the calculation, the production. And the girl he worked in the production plant, we trying to teach him use this program, but they don't know the plan in Excel because they say I do this for 30 years ago. So maybe for us, if we work in industrial with the new apps, new solutions, they will be difficult to teach people working for a long time there. Look, they have something solution better. It's very difficult this point when you have different age to work and different age.
I would like just to add on top of what you said. I would say that's not only a matter of age. I would dare to say that it's a matter of ego and probably even a matter of fear, because no one likes to feel stupid. No one likes to feel that I don't understand or that I don't know. And if you go to people that are used to a specific way and suddenly you want to change their ways, probably they are going to feel a little bit of fear of trying something new, and that fear can generate this sense of I need to protect what I know, I need to protect what I'm doing at the moment, because either ego reasons or because they are a little bit afraid of the change, which I would say, okay, it's natural, but at the same time it's like you cannot avoid that from happening. But unfortunately, I think sometimes you just need to change. And that argument that we don't change because I have been here 30 years, maybe the fact that you have been 30 years prevents you from seeing the benefits of this change because you're so stuck to the old ways. So it is a challenge. I would say that is normal, but it's definitely problematic. Murat, go ahead, please.
I just want like to bring an example. It was exactly what you said. It's about fear, because for the last years in our company, so we did start to use it's not like a big change. It's just we start to use the phone and the team, and there we can all the drivers can share their ideas, and if they have like questions, and as Andre did mention about the difference of the age between the drivers, so that's me. But because of them, they don't know so much about IT and things, so it was like so scary for them. And they say, why they bring this now? Why this is just gonna make it complicated for us? But after time, when they get to learn, so it gets just easy and easy and easy. So as you said, it's all about fear. When you take some things new at the first time.
Exactly. So I mean, I would say that a key to success in working together, call it in the mob or beyond the mob, is having this attitude of listening, like first listening to whatever other people have to say, and also ask yourself, is it really the whatever solution was suggested? Is it really a bad solution, or is it just a different solution? Because it's two different things. If it's just a different solution but equally correct, I don't see the problem on implementing it, even if it's not the solution that I came up with. Yeah. And I do feel that sometimes people say, okay, they are not able to realize that solutions can be equally good yet different from what they came up with, and then they fight that, and having that fight just then motivates people to either not contribute or to just not want to be part of something like this, because creates this friction. I don't know, I do like to, in general, I do like to work with people who have the attitude of really listening, and the attitude of whenever they express their ideas, which is something they aspect here, they express it in a way that it's not about the person, but it's about the idea. So if I tell this person, hey, what do you think about blah blah blah, I love it when people have this attitude of attacking the idea per se and not attacking the person. And even though sometimes, because again, things you slip or you don't realize, they might attack the person. I put myself still in the position of the person, and I said, I don't think he or she intended to really attack me. I think it's just, so it's this aspect of having empathy for understanding or seeing things from another perspective, from the other person's perspective. And I do believe that a lot of problems, a lot of misunderstandings do occur when people are not capable of putting themselves in the other, on the other side, on the other perspective. You see what I mean? So keep that in mind when you express yourself. I really like in page number 37, when in the purple box, be critical of the code, not the person. When he says, instead of saying, I think you got this wrong, say, I think this section is wrong. You see, I do believe that there's a power in words, and you can express the same message differently, and they can have totally different impact on the receiver. They can feel either empowered or motivated, or they can feel insulted or attacked just by the way you phrase a specific message. So keep that in mind when you're working with between yourselves. Yeah, keep in mind that that you guys might not necessarily have the same level of let's say experience or whatever, but you're in the same boat. And when you express an idea about, hey, this might not be right, say, no, you don't have this right. No, your code is bad. I mean, you're attacking the person. Maybe it's not your intention, but your words are transmitting that. You see, and that's usually the root of problems. Not being careful with the way we express our message, and that includes myself when I communicate with the students. I need to make sure to, if a student has, let's say, I know that the code is wrong, I know that the solution is wrong, I should not be saying, look, you did this wrong, because it would not really help the student. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So even this statement applies to me, myself. I need to be careful of the language that I use so that the student, instead of feeling demotivated, he or she can actually feel, okay, I need to improve in this area. Now I know what I need to do, and I can feel motivated to improve on whatever it is that I need to improve. It is definitely, go ahead.
And it's even trickier when the language is not like the first language of the person. For us, it's
exactly.
even a bit has another layer, because my English is particularly harsh. For example, I don't usually say I don't like this. I usually say I hate this. Even
Okay.
though
Yes,
I don't
see
hate
what you
it,
mean.
but like just the way that I speak, instead of saying I don't like, I say I hate, and people think that I'm way harsher than I actually am.
Exactly,
But it's just
correct.
because that's the way that I speak English. So it's like
I agree with you. I have met people who English is their second language, and let's say that while they were learning, they met with people that tended to use a lot of bad words. As a result, they picked those things. And this case that comes to my head, the first language of this person was Spanish, which is the same one as me. And when after meeting the person for a long time and speaking English, I realized now I understand what's happening here. It's not that this person, well, yeah, he's using a lot of bad words, but it's that he's translating the the Spanish slang to English. And in Spanish, those words might not have that much impact, but the words that he's using in English do have a very strong impact. So I cannot say this because this is being, I mean, I'm not going to say the examples of the bad words because this is recorded. Exactly, and I will be publishing. But the point is that words, the message that was coming out of the mouth didn't really match the person's intention. You see? And I agree. I believe now, as an example, in this conversation, English is not the first language of anyone here. So definitely that's where empathy comes into play, because in many cases, students have said stuff to me, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on with this student? But then I have to remind myself, okay, maybe this student is not really being rude. Maybe, as you said, it's a harsh or English, and he or she is maybe translating from his original or from his native tongue. And I need to force myself to look things into others' perspective. And I always like to give the benefit of the doubt, But very important point there. Very, very important point, definitely. Good. Would anyone like to add anything about that? About this empathy, about the importance of not being judgmental, the importance of listening to other people. I do believe that is the key to success. Yes. Let me see. Yeah, the no but. We have already spoken about that. That's correct. This part I don't want to focus that much. Yeah, so something else that I do want to speak is going back to the part of group thinking. I do believe that that is a big problem. And especially when you have someone in the team that has a very, very strong personality. And by strong, I mean that um, they have very strong opinions about whatever it is, and they don't tend to change. It, if you consider yourself one of those people, put yourself in the shoes of the other person. It can really be demotivating having to deal with someone who has very strong opinions. Not that they are wrong necessarily, but you need to be flexible because otherwise you're just going to force an environment in which no one would like to speak. And if you find two people that are equally like that, that is an basically an endless loop and an infinite loop. It never ends the discussion, and you just need to move forward. So please keep that in mind. And I do believe now that I have been here in Sweden for a long time, and I have had the opportunity to meet people like from everywhere, not only in Europe but also other parts of the world. I have realized that I have noticed that there are cultural differences associated to their willingness to participate in conversations and how strong their opinions are. Of course, you find people in each country, people from all over the world, but I have noticed that certain countries or certain cultures tend to be a little bit more open to let's say arguments. Some tend to be a little bit less close to arguments. Some people tend to be more of speaking and collaborating ideas. Others tend to be a little bit more reserved. Of course, it varies. No, it's not that I'm generalizing, but I have noticed those things after working with people from different backgrounds. Have anyone experienced that? Because I'm sure you have all met people from all over the
Yeah.
place as well.
Yeah, that's a common. Yeah, you can not generalize, but you can predict
See trends.
somehow. Yeah,
Yeah,
some
you see
trends.
trends. Yeah, exactly. Andre, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, I have experience not here in Sweden, but more when I live in London. London with many different people. I will say bad experience because I have complained with my boss. I work with Arabic people. Some people Arabic they don't like it, touch him like that. So in the beginning, I understand that. I learned for this time. So I have a big problem with this guy because just I touch in the hand. Look, he's okay. And some people Arabic is afraid about this connection. So I have big problems. So I think the same is when you work in different people, different countries, you learn a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Yeah, I would say that coming to Sweden, definitely, I had to learn a lot because things here work differently from the places that I lived before. But that's where the part of learning, listening, and adapting comes into play. If you're willing, as Andre did, if you're willing to learn, adapt, and understand, then those things you adapt and you learn, and that's how things move forward. So I really like going back to the group of Enrique, Murad, and Ayan. I really like what you're doing, especially because you're doing very, very, very early in the education. The fact that you this early are starting to meet and you guys are starting to get to know each other, as I like to say, beyond the screen, definitely will, if you continue with that, it will increase as time goes by. And then you will see that little by little, whenever you meet, the collaboration is going to be more fluent. The conversations are going to be more fluent because first of all, you know each other, but more importantly, because you build trust and confidence between each other, and you know, okay, you know how to communicate with this person, you know how to express ideas. Whenever you express your ideas, the other person. So it's like an organic thing that happens the more you meet people, and it happens with any relationship, right? So I think it's really good. And to be honest, from my perspective as an instructor, that's a challenge that I have had since day one, since our very first group. How to motivate students to work together in a remote environment. That is the keyword. How do I motivate students to work together in a remote environment? And I have tried different approaches, and I already have one that it's I will not be able to implement it with you guys, but in the next group, I will be implementing it, and hopefully it will help in this process because it's definitely a challenge. And I saw it actually. This will be more for Andre. You know, the CV workshop we did a few months or a few weeks ago. I mixed everyone, yeah, and after that event, I saw it especially in the other group, in the Python group, people started to collaborate even more. So that is the reason why we tend to do certain events on site, because the fact that you see other faces, the fact that you can collaborate with people in a physical space, definitely encourages more the working together and so on. So we have some plans. I have some strategies because I do believe that virtual education has a lot of benefits over traditional, and at the same time not traditional, sorry, but on-site. And on-site also has some benefits, so I want to really create an environment that brings the best of both worlds. And it's a challenge that I have been working towards since the beginning, and little by little we have been making improvements. But really happy to see that you guys are doing that, and I want to encourage you to continue doing it. Nice. Andre, go ahead, please.
Yes, it's about your strategy for the. I don't know if is the same one I think, but maybe homework works together in groups. So we need
Exactly.
not one homework work early, but one person, but 2 persons or 3 persons. You decide you 3. They need do this project together.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, this is it's still in development phase. There's a lot that has to happen, or not a lot, but at least 2 things that need to happen to do that. But basically, all of you know, because all of you are my students, and you know that the process at the moment is the same. You know, we have theory, homework, theory, homework, theory, homework. I want to integrate everything even more. So every lecture, there's going to be a little bit of theory and a little bit of problems or tasks. And then the idea is that in Microsoft Teams, for example, I will separate people into groups, into small groups, 3, no more than 4 people, and you're going to be working on selected problems. Then we come back and together we solve. So basically, a lot as I do with you guys in Android, Andre, you guys will see it when you reach Android. So the dynamic when you reach Android is very different from the dynamic that you guys are going through. And it's the same for Andre. When Andre was doing Kotlin, was the same dynamic that you're going theory, homework, and so the idea is I want to integrate that even better and make sure. That's why part of the content is also changing, because I want to leave all the theory at home. You just watch all the videos, and I'm at the moment working on improving all the content so that the students at the comfort of their home, they study all the theory, but when they come to class, it's about collaboration, it's about working on tasks and stuff like that. So there's a lot that needs to happen. First, I need to make sure that I find a very good tool. Microsoft Teams can be a little bit problematic sometimes, but a very good tool that allows this groups and sharing screen and all that stuff. And at the same time, for me, as you know, you already have 10 tasks. That's too little. I need to put a little bit more tasks so that people are able to have more content to work with. So those are some of the things that I have in mind, and there's a process that I need to go through. But I hope that for my next group, I will be able to implement it. In the time being, I'm of course pushing, telling people work together and stuff like that. So we will see how it goes, but I do believe that collaboration is very, very important, and I'm trying to integrate that as part of the curriculum. Like it is part of the curriculum to work together, and you have no escape from it, basically. So we will see. We will see. So it's a little bit, yes, as you mentioned, Andre. Yeah, a little bit like that. So any last thoughts, last minute, anything in particular, that any last few words anyone wants to say?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. What's the next
Yeah.
chapter? The next chapter is
Adjusting your mobbing. So I have not looked into this one yet, but it's a short one, I believe. So it's more about the equipment. It's about more
that's my stuff.
How to structure, like where to go. And I would like to hear from you, but that is next week. How's your experience working at? I think you went to a cafe, right?
Condeco.
What were the Condeco? What were the good things of working there? The not so good things. Those are the things that we're going to explore next week and see what we can do and learn from that.
Yep.
Nice. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for joining, and hope you have a great day. For those who
Yep.
have help session with me, I will see you today or tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you next week on lecture.
On class. Have a
Have a
nice
good
day.
one,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Hater. Bye.